I did. So Russ chapter 15, this is just a nasty chapter. There is no other way to put it. This chapter is all about irregularity. And we sort of hate that when we come to language, unless we're talking about English, and then we already know all the irregular things because they're all part of our language use already. But everything in chapter 15 is a matter of saying, okay, you learned the pronominal suffixes in chapter 14. Now let's apply them to some problem areas with different sorts of nouns and prepositions. And so that's what this is. Here's the good news. The pronouns that you've learned in chapter 14, almost all of them are going to be used here in chapter 15. There's only a few alternate forms of pronouns that we're going to see in this chapter. The issue for the most part is not that the pronouns are funky. The issue is that the nouns to which they are attached are funky. Okay? And so that's really where we want to focus our time. So let's take a look at Ross lesson 15 here, and we're going to look at this is page 119. Okay, 15.2. We have the words bane and shame. So what does bane mean? Son. Good. And shame is name. I don't know why shame and son sort of go together here in this little section. Does a son bring shame to his parents? Okay. Take a look at the pronominal suffix for the third masculine singular on bane. It's his son. And notice how it's spelled. It's b-no. Okay? B-no. There's my holum vav. That's the 3ms pronominal suffix. So we would translate that as his son. How would you have expected this noun to be written when you added the pronoun suffix to it? Well, let's think about this. If we start with bane, okay, written like this, and we have to write the noon as the non-final form once we want to add a pronoun, right? So let's write it as the medial noon. And I add the pronominal suffix, just like this. See, I've got a sere here. If I were to divide my syllables the way this is, I would think that this open pretonic syllable ought to have a long vowel, and I should just keep the sere here, and this should be beno, his son. But what happened? Well, I got this reduction, and this is the unusual thing, and that's why it's in this chapter. It's not beno, but beno. I've got a vocal shava here, okay? So that's the irregularity. That's all you need to know about bane, okay? It just becomes beno, bana, and so forth with that vocal shava, okay? Well, actually, there is one other thing that we ought to say about it. Look at the form of your son for the second masculine plural. Bane becomes bane kem, right? Y'alls, 2MP. Where's my accent going to be? It's on the end here, right? I'll put that in parentheses, stressing the final syllable. So when I have bane kem, this is now a cuss syllable, isn't it? What does Hebrew require this closed, unaccented syllable to have? A short vowel. So notice sere is long, and it's got to become a short vowel. So I'm going to change that from bane kem to what? Well, a short I-class vowel, right? So it's going to become bin kem. And you've already seen bin as the construct masculine one of the construct masculine singular forms of bane, right? Ben David is the son of David, right? So ben kem is the son of y'all, or your son. All right, so your son. So that's the irregularity with bane. Nothing too earth-shattering. Could you still translate Bano as his son, even if you didn't remember that the sere became a vocal shava here? Yeah, probably, right? If you know bane, you probably know Bano as his bane. Okay, so his son. So this really still isn't too difficult. Now the word shame is name, and what we're told here is that the plural form of shame is shemot. Okay, so that's names, shemot. All right. So how do we see the word their names written here in our book. Look at the very bottom of our paragraph on page 119. It's sh, mo, tam. Okay? Now, what is irregular about this? What would you have expected given the fact that the feminine plural of sus, susot, okay, if I wanted to say their mares, it would be su, sot, te, hem, okay? I would have had the oath ending, and I would also have the sere yod here before the third masculine plural pronoun for their female horses, their mares. What's different here? This is plural, shemot, but there is just the am ending, which is the pronoun you normally see. It's 3MP, but it's normally attached to singular nouns, right? Here it's attached to a plural noun, and there's no yod. So that's the irregularity here. Could you still parse this as, or translate it as their names? Yes. You know that am is there, and the ot is plural. So it is their names, okay? But that is a little bit irregular. All right, so that's 15.2. Let's quickly look at 15.3. Here we come to those words av and ach, which you know are family terms, right? Av is father. Ach is brother. This is what it sounds like when you refer to your brother. Ach. Okay. Now, what did we learn about these words? Well, when we were learning the construct chains in chapter 12, we learned that the masculine singular construct of av was a little bit unusual. It was avi, okay? That's the masculine singular construct form. We get this Keurig yod from out of nowhere. So if I want to say something like the father of Moses, it's avi Moshe, right? Not of Moshe, but avi Moshe, the father of Moses. That's thing one, that's thing two. Well, do you remember how I've told you that whenever we put nouns, we attach a pronominal suffix to a noun. In effect, what we're doing is we're making the noun construct, and our pronoun is functioning as the absolute. So to say sus Moshe, right? That means the horse of Moses. This is thing one, that's thing two. And if I say suso, sus is thing one, and the holem vav for of him is thing two. Okay? So this is the horse of him, right? So my pronoun is my genitive noun, as it were, my absolute in the construct chain. Well, that's what we're going to have when we want to say something like his father, okay? We're going to take the construct form of av, which is avi, and then we're going to add pronouns to it. So let's take avi, and look at what we have. I have two possibilities for my third masculine singular pronoun on father. It could either be avihu. Have you seen the form hu as a third person pronoun before? Yeah, our independent pronoun, right? Except it had an aleph at the end. So avihu, or I'm going to go ahead and use the compound shva here for now. Okay, I could just have a vav at the end, which you've also seen that for the 3ms pronoun when we add it to plural nouns. Now look here, my accent is on the bet in both cases. It's avihu and aviv. And that means that this is going to be open and pre-tonic, and Hebrew is going to require a long vowel for that. Open pre-tonic syllable, right? Old preacher sermons are long. So I'm going to get not the compound shava, but a long a vowel, which is really what I'm starting with when you look at the lexical form, right? Av. So avihu and aviv is his father, or the father of him. Okay? So I'll see that long vowel under the aleph in my forms of the singular with the pronouns. Okay, so let's just take a look on page 120, and we'll read the forms. All of these pronouns you have seen before. Okay, so looking on the left side, the singular column, or the singular set, We have Aviv. Say that with me. Aviv.
Aviv.
Or Avihu.
Avihu.
So his father. Aviha
Aviha.
is her father. Avicha,
Aviha.
your father, and that's a male you. Avich
Aviv.
is your father, that's a female you. And Avi,
Aviv.
my father. The plural forms. Avihem.
Avihem.
So why do I have the compound Shiva here with Avihem? Where's my stress? It's on the hem. So it's on the tonics. The tonic syllable is the final syllable, right? So V is open and pretonic, and the ah would have been open and proprotonic, and it was required to reduce to a vocal Shiva. And because Aleph is a guttural, it takes the compound Shiva. All right? But that's why I have two different vowel pointings depending on where my stress is. Okay? So Aviv, but Avihem. So Avihem, and then next Avihen. So this is their father, masculine and feminine. And then Avichem and Avichen is y'all's father, male and female versions, depending on whether you have mem or nun. And then Avinu.
Avinu.
Notice my stress is back to the bet, and so I have the long A vowel under the Aleph. So Avinu is our father. Now, remember how I told you that if you see a yod before your pronoun, that's usually a signal that you're dealing with the plural noun, right? Well, I have a yod here, but is this a singular or a plural form of father? It's singular. So how am I going to remember that? Well, I told you that if there is a yod and there's a Keurig before the yod, then the noun is what? Singular. Any other vowel before the yod is a plural noun. Okay? And so that holds true even with these crazy forms like Avihu and so forth. Okay? Now, what is the plural form of father? How do I make father plural? Yeah, Av becomes Avot. In other words, it uses what looks like a feminine plural ending, doesn't it? Okay? So when I want to add pronominal suffixes to the word fathers, I have to use ot, and then I'm going to add my my community pronouns. So if I wanted to say his fathers, it would be avotav. By the way, I don't know if Jay told you this the other day, but on that 3ms pronoun that's attached to plural nouns, it's kametz, yod, vav. This yod is silent. Okay? So it's not aiv, but av. Avotav. Where's my accent? It's on the end. That means this is open and pretonic, this is open and proprotonic. What's it going to do? It's going to reduce to a vocal Shiva. Can I put a vocal Shiva under an Aleph? Nope. I'm going to get a compound Shiva. Okay, so avotav. Avotav. Okay? So I'm going to see that ot ending, and that's going to tell me that it's a plural form of father. Yes?
So when the yod is silent, we don't transliterate that?
You will transliterate it because you're representing what's in the written system, but you're not going to pronounce it. Yeah, so avotav. Avotav. All right, now the word for brother is going to behave like the word for father in the singular. So we have ach, brother. The construct form of brother is achi. So the brother of Moses would be achi Moshe. And if I want to say his brother, I can add all the same pronouns. Ahihu and ahiv, for example. Right? So that'd be his brother. Now, if the accent is on the he, this is open and pretonic. Hebrew's going to require this to be long. So I won't see the compound Shiva here. I'll see the long A. Ahiv, his brother. Ahihu is also his brother. All right? So this is going to look exactly like Av, except we'll have a chet here, a bet over here. Okay? But all the same forms. Now, what about the plural form of brothers? What does that look like? Well, here's where ach is different than av, because the plural of av is avot, but the plural of ach is not achot, it's achim. Okay, I'm going to actually see the im ending, and that's the one I've come to know and love, right? Achim. So I like that. That's brothers. But if I want to say his brothers, I have to drop the im, and I'm going to add these forms that come before the pronoun. And so if you look at page 120, you'll see that there's a difference of vocalization here. We have echav, okay? So that's his, brothers, plural, okay? Look at that, echav. Do you see the yod before the vav? Okay, that tells me, that's probably plural, but look, I have a yod before the vav over here too, don't I? This is his brother, singular. How do I know that this one's singular and this one's plural? I've got to look at the vowel that comes before the yod, don't I? This one's a non-kyric, that means it's plural. This one's a kyric before the yod, that means it's singular. Okay, so achiv, his one brother, echav, his plural brothers. Okay? All right, so anyhow, you're going to see this sort of vocalization, echav, and then for her brothers, achecha. Can you tell that that's a plural form of brothers? Yeah, I have a yod before the pronoun, and the vowel before that yod is not kyric, right? So that is plural, her brothers. Her brothers. All right, so I don't think we need to belabor that. If you look at the paradigm of brothers here toward the bottom of page 120, before every yod, you have some vowel that is not a kyric, right? Kametz, segol, segol, pathak, pathak, seri, 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 seri. None of those are kyric. Those are all plural forms of brother.